Howdy. Thanks for joining me in this video titled Connection Deception. So it's been a pretty wild summer. You can see the plants are going wild. Just got some rain. So everything's nice. We're going to get some more rain, hopefully. It's been a little hot and humid. Got some new electroculture in my garden. I'll have to do a video about that because I think it's working. I think it's really improving the connection my plants have to everything below and above. So, you know, this talk is all about connections and how you should try to connect with anything you can in this realm. You know, try to be a connector. It's definitely a theme of all my videos, and the rest of my life will be trying to connect people, trying to unite humanity again from our disconnected state, right? I kind of see a lot of our problems as very simple. It's just we've overcomplicated about everything we can to make the problems as complicated and hard as we could. So getting back to basics and simplicity is probably impossible for most of humanity, you know. So I make these videos for a small percentage that has the guts and the grit and the heart to want to see this change, to want to see people connect again and not just live in a disconnected realm for eternity. I'm sure if you're anything like me and you're into harmony and peace and love, you've probably talked to people that are soldiers or in the military and how you can kind of feel how they're not like that. They believe in force and control and hierarchy. And you'll talk to them about peace and how I like to say maybe there was a time where humanity was united and peaceful. And I think there's plenty of evidence that points towards it that's been suppressed and hidden and destroyed. But I try to tell somebody that, you know, and I tell a military guy that, you know, maybe we haven't always been at war. And they'll laugh it off and act like it's foolish to think that we could have peace. And then within me, I laugh at them, and I think it's foolish to have war. And it's you got to be an extremely foolish person to think this is how it always is. Brother against brother, sister against sister, just total warfare here because of our differences. And it's a false story, I think. But I guess I'm trying to make the point that some people you will never be able to connect with some people, and you've got to accept that. You've got to accept that they don't want to connect, right? They want to stay separated. They want to stay outside because they think they're right. They want it to be this way that they've always known. They probably murdered people for these ideas. So it'd be hard to admit that we could have peace when you killed people, right? Because you think that you're trying to cause peace by killing people somehow. The military mind is so twisted in this age. I really don't have much hope for a lot of them. Other than turning on their own governments. I hope that happens, right? But I don't know. It's just, I think once you kind of get into that realm of hurting people, it's hard to admit you did it. And that there could have been a peaceful solution. Like you could have made YouTube videos and talked about peace or something. I don't know. So you got to realize you're not going to be able to connect with everybody, okay? So that means that you got to kind of change your viewpoint at times. But I would definitely encourage you to try to connect and make as many strong connections with people, plants, animals, places. I feel like I have a strong connection with Lake Wentworth down the road. Probably going to jump in there after this video, after I do a little work on the cabin. Every time I get in there, it feels like all that stress, all that anxiety is taken away. And it's a connection I never even thought would happen. I just moved up to New Hampshire for the freedom stuff. I thought I'd be living next to a lake and I would have this deep connection to where it's like a therapy. It's like getting a deep body massage. I go into this lake, you know. So it's like you don't even have to connect with people, is what I'm trying to say. I connect with the birds, the insects, the chipmunks, and they respond. It's almost like all these animals and all these plants, and they're just insects. Everything's waiting for you, waiting for one of us to show up and say, hey, what's going on? Let's play. I feel like that's what I've stumbled into here, and my connection with nature is growing stronger, I guess is what I'm saying. And I think it's time. At least it's time for me. I don't know about you, but I want to connect, you know, with the real stuff. I don't want to sit there on TV screen connecting with a false authority trying to tell me he's going to change my world, right? So I do want to make the point of all these false connections that people seem to have with the television and the characters on the television. I'm floored people still vote. I can't even fathom, like, thinking voting is legitimate anymore. But it goes on, right? People are talking about the debate and about who they're going to vote for. And what they don't realize is it's an absolute false connection they're making to their leader. This leader will never, like, whoever the Democrat, the Republican, whatever stupid, you know, party you agree with, the leader will never know your name, will never know your viewpoints, will never hear anything you have to say, but you'll hear all the crap they have to say. So you have this false connection with an idol that promises you salvation, right? It's almost like a Bible story that they've turned politics into. It's all savior to this, salvation, and it's so pathetic that it's all about saving the economy. It's not about saving children or starving people or stopping war. All these greedy Americans think about is their stupid money. And so they want to get Trump in so that their money system's better. And it's just, I'm ashamed to be in this country. Let me tell you, about every decision they've made, I've thought the opposite. So, you know, if you're outside of this country, trust me, there's a lot of people that want nothing to do with all this and want to see it end. So we don't vote, right? Because we don't say that we're participating in the murder fest of America and its 800 and something foreign bases, right? But those false connections, they'll take you for a ride. They'll tell you a story that will sound enticing. They tell a lot of stories that are exciting and sound great. It just seems like the stories they tell never end up being true. They sound great, and if you believe them, you know, but it's just a false connection with a technology, right? It's just an idol, you know, for people to look at. And that's really no way to live. Tom, like I've decided, like, I'm not idolizing anyone. I just have quality people I look up to, you know, I admire, and I'd like to learn from. But I guarantee, like, they all have small followings, like me. You know, none of these people that I respect are on the television or have like 1 million subscribers or whatever. It's usually very small, very peaceful people. They're just putting out their views, saying the way they see it, and they never ask you to trust them. They don't force you to trust them either. But work on the real connections. Because a lot of what I'm getting at is basically you're tricking yourself into some false connected humanity by voting. Or thinking that somebody else, there should be a middleman between humans, okay? I'm trying to make the point that humanity should be ultimately connected. There should be no middleman divvying out anything for any of us unless we decide, unless I say I contractually agree this third party gets to divvy out this disagreement between two people, like a court arbitration. We could have private courts do all that stuff. It's just humanity has been disconnected, and there's been like a unlimited money printing placed in the middle of humanity, and it seems like we're all having to go through this money system that has taken control. And people don't really see it that way because they don't realize that you work your entire life for money that the financiers just print. You agree to go into debt. They create the debt out of thin air like a magic trick. So it's all immoral. The foundations of the Federal Reserve, this whole country, most of what's gone on all of our lives has been built on printed money backed by fantasies and debt. And they've only financed things that would enslave people and disconnect them, right? Like, when have you seen something that has connected Americans, ever, that the government has done? Unless it's like a false flag 9/11, like, yeah, we all, what people united after we got attacked ourselves, and people unite after the weather weapons are hit, But other than tragedy and disaster, Americans don't seem to unite. So you kind of see the false connections that go on in this place. Now, coming back to my original point of how you need to make strong connections with people, with nature, really, you need to make that strong connection with the real you that's buried deep inside. These are probably all my main themes I really try to talk about. Knowing thyself, making that strong connection within yourself to know what you are, what you're doing here, why you even exist. You should think about that one. Why you're in your scenarios, but it all requires knowing thyself. If you make that strong connection with yourself, it becomes a lot easier to connect with other things, because you got a good solid understanding and a good solid place to come from. You're not just blowing in the wind and you don't know what you even are, so you're just letting stuff kind of tell you what to be, right? It seems like there's a lot of people, I call it the herd, like a herd of cattle, but it just, whatever the TV says, whatever the Star Wars actors tell them, they'll imitate it, they'll do it, they'll believe it. They don't really have they almost aren't an individual anymore. They want acceptance so much that they will live a false life and they will falsely connect just to say they're accepted or to think they're accepted. People do crazy things to try and connect, to try and fit in. I just realized that we are all of us already fit in. We're already here. It don't matter what this person thinks of you or that person thinks. We're all here together. We all fit in already, or else we wouldn't be here. That's my argument, is it's like, why do you care about anything being accepted? We're all sort of automatically have to accept each other because we're here together. I just, but people, I guess, Mark Passio, he calls them, ancient psychologists. That's kind of what I like to look at them. Like, they just use psychology to separate people within themselves, to use, like I was saying, they use the idols to get the people to separate and try to imitate the idol instead of finding out who they truly are. So it's all about uniting yourself back to who you truly are, and then uniting with others, in this realm, in this time of separation. We can make it a time of unification. And that's just the rest of my life. That's where I'm going to be heading. Unifying people. Like, I want to unify the plants with the people who spray pesticides or herbicides, right? It's like you want to unite the people at odds. That's if you really want to do the best thing you can here right now. It's about it's about getting rid of the connection deception. All right, we're not connected through contracts and money and rules and rulers and authorities. Connect through the heart, heart to heart, heart to heart, heart to heart. Connect your heart to the plants, your heart to the area you're in. Connect your heart to the next person you can. I was saying earlier, not everybody will connect, but even those that are hard and don't want to live in a peaceful world and they're okay with all the chaos, you can still connect with them on some level. It seems like if you're willing to put your ego aside, you can connect with almost anybody here. But you got to find how to connect with them, because they're not going to find a way to connect with you. Hope that makes sense. And it's hard because you're like, man, this person, they're not into peace. They're not into the things I'm into. They could give a rip about the truth. But you know what? There's a reason I have this relationship. There's something good in this person that I don't see. And it doesn't matter that they don't see the good in me. And I'm not saying blind yourself. Do not blind yourself to people who will take advantage of you. But there's a lot of angry assholes out there, I'll put it this way. A lot of angry assholes that just, they get a shit sandwich every morning. They wake up, they go to work, or it's a shit sandwich every day. Like, there's always something to be sad about, something to be frustrated, they eat, quick to anger. Instead of just trying to ignore them and, think that you've got them figured out, that, they're just a bad asshole. Like, try to connect on one of their hobbies or something they're into, Get outside of yourself and play a different character for a little bit. And, you can have a weak connection, but at least it's a connection with somebody. So, right now, the most noble thing you could do is try to connect people who are disconnected, right? You might have people in your family. This side likes to be Democrats. This side likes to be Republicans, politics. If somehow you could get them both to forget about it and unite outside of the politics on something, it's not like you can even take them away from their addiction to these beliefs, but it's like find a deeper connection for those people. Find a heart connection that's stronger than the political connections that separates them. I'm just coming up with ideas on how to connect us as a one humanity again. I know it's possible. I know it's probably how most of the past has been. We've been united. And this is just some freak show scenario happening right now where people are creating suffering instead of peace and love. So that's what I try and do. I try to be that middle man, not the middleman that's taking advantage, right? Because that's sort of the problem with the false connection people have with money. There's this middleman of money taking advantage of everybody. But if you're a noble person trying to do the honorable thing, you become a middleman that connects everybody, but it's kind of hard for you because you have to kind of change your character depending on who you're interacting with. It's not like you're a middleman who gets all the advantages of all these people. It's like you're a middleman that's trying to bridge the gaps, the miscommunications, and these people have the craziest misunderstandings and communications, but you're in the midst of it all, and you've kind of rose above drama and gossip and blaming others. So it sort of becomes obvious how there's people around you that are they're disconnected because of their ego attachment. And mainly because of a misunderstanding. So what you should try and do is like weave that tapestry of these separated people back together with a stronger connection from the heart. Just, I don't know, what I'm saying is like kind of out there. It's not easy. I'm not saying everybody can be connected, right? Like I definitely said earlier in the video, some people want to be disconnected. They want to stay away from everybody. I get it. I feel that way a lot of times. I just know it ain't supposed to be this way. It takes a lot of love to unite people that don't want to unite. They're just like, there's like something about it. Where people, they like their divisions. They enjoy them. They want to be on the right side. So what I always try and do is I'm always on the third side, right? I'm never taking a side. I'm always on all the sides of everyone. Just trying to mediate peace between the parties, okay? Like, it's kind of, you could always take sides and feel like, oh, this is the lesser of two evils on the side, right? Well, I just a person, I don't want to be involved in any evil. Why? Like, how about I just make a strong connection with the truth, a strong connection with love and peace and people who are loving and peaceful, and then we grow, So, make those strong connections. First, connect yourself, though. Like, align all your chakras, align all of the multiple personalities you might have created, I don't know, whatever you want to call it. But you definitely need to be unified within yourself if you're going to unite other people with outside of yourself, okay? So it's, I'm always giving you a challenge, but I know you're up to it. I know we're here for something. I feel like it's that time to unite. And it's like, why else would we have the internet? Why else would all these things be coming out about, man, all fake history, all fake space, fake everything about is being unveiled. So it just seems like this is the time we grab the truth, run with it, we unite. Gotta dream, gotta keep dreaming these dreams. So I hope you enjoy the talk. I love you. See you in the next one.